New generation cooling from USystems. Worldwide, governments are desperately trying to find new and innovative ways to reduce their carbon emissions. Incentive schemes aside, global energy reserves are depleting, costs are rising, and it is essential to reduce the amount of energy required to run a business before they become unsustainable. One major area of concern is the growth in energy required to run data centers, which on average require 10 to 30 times more energy than standard office space. To put this in context, in 2009, global information technology emissions stand at 2%, which is on a par with the aviation industry. As we progress towards Web 2.0 and the high-speed future of computing, it is important not to be restricted by rising energy costs and tightening spatial constraints. Currently, even adequate, efficient cooling is hard to come by in a data center. Some organizations still opt to implement tried and tested data center designs, such as hot aisle, cold aisle, employing inefficient computer room air conditioning units to manage their thermal requirements. From a thermodynamic point of view, the recent addition of enclosed cold aisles is certainly an improvement, but the whole solution remains limited, especially when considering running costs, capital expenditure, and restrictions on electronic packaging densities. When considering the energy strategy for data centers and their associated facilities, the view taken here at USystems is simple. Remove the inefficiencies. Discard unnecessary products and the associated capital expenditure. Remove expansion restrictions. And replace them with an efficient cooling solution. When you consider that to achieve the same thermal load as a traditional crack solution, ColdLogik requires fewer cabinets, less specialized real estate, no raised floor, and a lower duty chiller, the benefits of the USystems data center model and the potential for reduced capital expenditure are in plain sight. However, the real headliner is energy consumption. The ColdLogik system offers independently verified energy savings of up to 93% over the traditional crack approach, savings that go on year after year after year. Now let's take a closer look at the technology behind ColdLogik. The CL20 cooler is fitted to a USpace 6210 cabinet, or alternatively, to any other equipment manufacturer's cabinet via an interface frame. The 6210 AirTech Plus front door provides 84% effective airflow, allowing for near unrestricted, efficient cooling through the cabinet. Not only is it an efficient solution, the CL20 cooler and 6210 cabinet are first-class examples of modern engineering, and, in an age where data centers have become aesthetic assets in themselves, ColdLogik stands at the forefront of progressive styling. The active equipment fans pull the ambient air in through the cabinet, gaining in heat as it does so, before being exhausted onto the inside face of the CL20 cooler. Energy-efficient centrifugal EC fans, mounted within the cooler, pull the warm air over and around a coolant-filled coil and into a plenum chamber, before being passed back into the data center at the predefined ambient temperature. Note how the air leaving the door exits to the side and does not blow directly into the aisle where you or a colleague may be working. The room ambient temperature is controlled by the ColdLogik management system. It achieves this by automatically adjusting the fan speed, water flow rate, and where necessary alters the output water temperature from the chiller, resulting in a consistent delivery of cooled air into the data center with no operator intervention. The whole process can also be overseen and controlled at individual cabinet level, room level, and remotely via any of the industry standard communication protocols, allowing remote administration, saving time and money. The ColdLogik management system can be fitted either internally or on top of the cabinet. The entire ColdLogik system operates on a sensible cooling principle, that is to say, water above dew point, ensuring that the system remains a condensate-free operation, so there are no additional condensate pumps and no loss of energy. Typically operating between 14 and 20 degrees Celsius, the CL20 family provides scalable cooling opportunities, offering duty up to 45 kilowatts. Although, with an 80 kilowatt cooler currently in testing, it is clear that USystems have both the present and future in mind. Also available is the zero-aisle cooler, so called because unlike a conventional door, it does not hinge. Upon opening, traditional cabinet doors typically take up either 600 or 800 millimeters of adjacent aisle space, but the zero-aisle cooler, when fully opened, will only inhabit its original footprint. This is due to the cooler's unique design, which utilizes overhead runners. With external cooling being an integral part of the ColdLogik solution and one of the data center's largest users of power, our state-of-the-art refrigeration systems incorporate highly efficient R410A multiple scroll or magnetically driven Danfoss turbocore compressors with incredible COP or EER figures as high as 10 to maximize cost savings. In order to capitalize on the efficiency of ColdLogik, it is imperative to use, where possible, free cooling. It plays a significant part in energy cost reduction and, in practice, using free cooling in Northern Europe can reduce the running costs of the refrigeration system by up to 92%. Our unique systems are tailored to suit any climatic or environmental conditions around the world. The free cooling modules can either be factory fitted or stand alone depending on the site requirements, and with inverter-driven fans on all units, they ensure that PUE figures are as low as possible. Given that the CL20 coolers work using high input water temperatures, they are a perfect fit when considering alternative, natural sources of cooling, such as boreholes, rivers, and seawater. And in hot climates, the chiller and free cooling modules can utilize solar energy. For safety and peace of mind, ColdLogik is the only water-cooled solution in the world which has the option of a leak prevention system. This is not to be confused with leak detection systems, which are commonly used in current competitor water-cooled solutions and older crack systems. The LPS puts the whole data center coolant loop on a negative pressure circuit, with the water being sucked rather than pushed around the system, ensuring that leaks cannot occur. In the event that a flow or return pipe is drilled into, or even in the unlikely event that a connection becomes loose, water is unable to escape. Small quantities of air are sucked into the perforation, which is then pulled along to an air-eliminating module, prohibiting any loss of coolant. Strategically placed sensors in the pipework pick up the presence of air in the system and instantly send a message to the ColdLogik management system, which in turn notifies the data center manager, all without interruption to the cooling process. The advantage with this technological ecosystem is that the data center manager can locate the fault, plan the maintenance, and carry out the remedial work without risk to the equipment or general environment. A commonly asked question is whether the temperature in the room rises if a pipe or joint is breached. The simple answer is no. Only a relatively small amount of air would pass into the circuit, which on an individual CL20 cooler would have a negligible effect, and certainly could not destabilize a data center. Let's summarize some of the benefits of a ColdLogik system. ColdLogik is able to help companies meet their carbon emission targets. When used with natural resources, ColdLogik can deliver 10 kilowatts of cooling per cabinet and still achieve a PUE rating of 1.02, which equates to massive energy savings. An impressive 45 kilowatts per rack heat removal from an industry-standard 600mm wide cabinet using sensible cooling only. Retrofit capability to existing data center cabinets. No need to build a brand new facility. Providing a safe and secure environment for the data center, the leak prevention system is only available from USystems. A ColdLogik solution can cost less than a traditional data center design. ColdLogik can be tailor-made to suit any climatic or environmental conditions anywhere in the world. ColdLogik is modular by design, scalable as a solution, and can be rapidly rolled out. ColdLogik. Perfect climate, perfect control. New generation cooling from USystems.